Welcome to the Home Downsizing Show. My name is Ben Souchek, your host and the owner and founder of Home Downsizing Solutions. With the Home Downsizing Show, I want to provide you the information and resources to make the downsizing of your house stress and hassle-free. So sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining us.
All right, so now I want to shift gears and address anyone in our listening audience all around the nation who is moving to a senior care community, and now you're just not sure what to do with your house. And with that, I'd like to introduce to you my friend and special guest today in studio, Mr. Ben Souchek. He's the owner-operator of Home Downsizing Solutions. And Ben, welcome back to Senior Care Live.
Hello, Steve. Thanks for having me back again, and great to be here. Hopefully, I can impart some great information to the listeners today, and they'll get some great value out of that.
Absolutely. And as you know, our flagship station is right here in the Kansas City metropolitan area. But since this is now a nationally syndicated radio program, it goes all over the country. And Ben, you can help clients or families or individuals anywhere in the country. Is that correct?
That's correct. We buy primarily ourselves, our own company in the Midwest, but we certainly have known connections and individuals other companies that can help you out no matter where you're at. So we can make sure that we facilitate that and take care of all your listeners. Okay.
All right. Excellent. And tell us what you do with Home Downsizing Solutions.
Home Downsizing Solutions, I guess I like to say that we help seniors and their families transition to senior living in as stress-free and hassle-free as we possibly can by buying their house direct from them.
Okay.
So we save them from getting a house show-ready, from any showings that might be necessary in a traditional selling situation, having who knows who coming through your house at inopportune times, and a person does not have to do any repairs or maintenance updates to a house to sell it to us. We buy the house literally as is, with or without any stuff, of course. And one of the big benefits is that we can buy a house, but a person can then typically stay in the house for 30, 60, sometimes 90 days until they make a transition to their new home or apartment community. So we can specialize and, customize a real estate solution for whatever they need.
See, so that is incredible. So there are tens and tens of thousands of people right now preparing to move to senior care at any level, independent living, assisted living, long-term care. Many may need memory care, et cetera, et cetera. And that's a very stressful time in your life as the senior, as that individual, or maybe a couple, but also for the family, because the family's like, well, wait a minute. What are we going to do with mom's house? and they're already stressed out enough because of this huge life-changing event, and this is one of the toughest transitions that a person could work through. And so, what are they going to do with the house, and how could you help that person?
Again, we talk to individuals as to what they want to see happen, what is going on with their specific situation, so that we can provide a solution that is custom tailored to what they need us to do with the real estate. And the other couple things that I'd like to mention is in this day and age, it's so easy to have a company or entity say that they buy houses, but my company has actually been doing it for more than literally 25 years at this point, and have the funding available so that we can close as quick as a title company can check title and prepare closing paperwork, which in some cases has been literally within 24 hours of getting a contract. And so if you do want to sell a house on a timely basis and feel that the benefits we offer are good, are positive, that you find value in, then we can be a great solution for people. The other thing is I'm a veteran, and some people care about that, some people don't. But I certainly want to do all that I can to take care of the individuals that are making that transition, because it is a stressful time. Typically, a house is the most valuable item a person has a lot of times, and so we take that very seriously to do everything that we can to make that transition, again, as stress-free and hassle-free as possible.
Mr. Ben Souchek with Home Downsizing Solutions, 402-450-0199. You can also, Ben has an excellent website. It's spelled exactly as it sounds. Home Downsizing Solutions. Don't forget the S. Home Downsizing Solutions.com. And so, Ben, obviously, we are addressing seniors and their caregivers on this program, and it is so common for someone to be helping their mother, their father, maybe even both of their parents move, transition from their home to a senior care community, and the parents or the parent, they've lived in this house for so many times. They've lived there for decades, and they have all of the stuff. The house, frankly, needs updated. It may be in disrepair. And so we have a lot of issues. Can you work with someone in that kind of a situation where we still have shag carpet? We might have some fluorescent light fixtures they've been in there for 40 years. Can you work with someone like that, a house like that, as far as being able to buy it as is and help that person out?
Absolutely. We work with all kinds of situations. We work with hoarder situations.
Okay.
Or what I've heard the term aggressive collector
Aggressive
situations.
collector, yeah.
And so literally we've worked with a lot of situations, a lot of stuff. We've helped people get to a better environment that it really wasn't a safe environment for them to be living in to start with, because of different issues. But we've literally worked with about anything that you can think of. In 25 plus years, I've walked into thousands of houses, and so I don't think there's anything that would scare me or surprise me at this point anymore.
Okay. Now, don't say that, because then you're going to get a surprise. You're like, I just told Steve I've seen it all. Now I'm going to have to take that back.
If that happens, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. We'll have an update here next month. So, all right. And then, all right. So let me just back up again. Ben Souchek, Home Downsizing Solutions, 402-450-0199, online at homedownsizing-solutions.com. And Ben, you touched on something a little bit earlier, and it was a little bit of a warning, and I kind of want to back up and talk about that. There seem to be a lot of companies out there advertising, and it sounds, on the surface, it sounds kind of similar to Ben Souchek and Home Downsizing Solutions. We'll buy your house, etc. But it's not. I think it's one of these other type of companies. I think you had mentioned maybe more like a wholesaler. They promise to buy your house, but they have no intention on buying your house. They're trying to flip it. Can we talk about that for a minute? And
not just flip the house, but actually trying to flip the contract. That's correct. This day and age with technology, the barrier of entry into this business, or what would appear to be an entry into this business, is very low. So a person can create a website very easily. A person can run ads online or send mail, what we would term direct mail, to anybody in the country. We can get lists very easily for people that have owned their house a long time, just to be very transparent. And so it's a business for them. They're very good at sales, especially over the phone sales. Mm-hmm. And so, unfortunately, a lot of times these companies people will respond to them, obviously, because they want to sell a house that might need a lot of work. But once these companies get a contract, then they just try and find a real buyer for that contract. And in a market that's moving up, as has been happening for the last several years, it's been working out for a number of people. But in the market that we're in now, and I think what we're going to see going forward here for a while, is it can put a seller in a very bad situation if they can't actually sell their house when they thought they had it sold already.
So if I'm a home owner and I'm trying to sell my house, and I go with one of these unscrupulous, middleman marketing kind of I think that whole thing is very shady, and I'm trusting them to buy my house and they can't sell it because the market's cooling off, I'm kind of stuck with that contract for a period of time, and I can't get out. I don't suppose.
You should be able to, but there are people out there or entities out there that will come back and say, well, you signed this for a certain length of time, so I have a certain length of time to perform. And unfortunately, there are some that will threaten a homeowner in order to do that. But if they don't have any money or any skin in the game, they could just walk away, and really the homeowner has no out except to find somebody else to buy their house then.
All right. Back to the Senior Care Live question of the week. The real estate market in the Midwest is cooling off the same as it is on both coasts. Is that statement true or false? And the answer is true. The answer is true. And I wasn't sure about that, but you told me it was true, so I probably should have had you say true. So so where I was going with that question was, usually things happen on the coast and it takes a while to kind of filter into the middle of the country, but not this one.
Correct. That's it seems like for whatever reason things typically start on the coast, like you said, and kind of filter into us. I think part of that is that the coast, at least from my experience, from my limited experience, especially from like the 2008 market correction, the run up to 2008, and when the market corrected, you had cities like Phoenix, entire states like Florida and Las Vegas that saw some very big appreciation, just like in the last few years now. But when the market corrected, then they were the ones that fell back the most.
The bubble burst, as they say.
Correct.
Yeah.
And even though we had, here in the Midwest, we had some of that, but we didn't have the large amount of appreciation, so we didn't have quite the pullback in the market as those other markets that had huge run-ups did. I think the only thing, and I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know that it's true, but like in Florida's case, so this time, they may be less affected than the rest of the country just because there's been so much of a migration to Florida over the last, especially 2 years with COVID from other states. So that's the only difference there that I see.
Okay. All right. That's Ben Souchek with Home Downsizing Solutions. If you want to work with a straight shooter, one of the most honest people that you will ever meet, if he can help you, he will show you what he can do for you. If he is not the right fit for you, guess what? Remember I said he's a straight shooter? He'll tell you that too. He'll say, you know what? This might be a better option for you. He will tell you like it is, and if he can help, he can usually help in a major way. Reach out to Ben at Home Downsizing Solutions at 402-450-0199. You can also go online at homedownsizing-solutions.com. And Ben, I'm looking at your website here, and there's just so much good information. It says we buy houses for any reason, any condition, and any challenge. So some of the reasons I think that would fall into the category of our listeners of this program might be an inherited property. So have you worked with folks who, unfortunately they had a death in the family, and again, the family is like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with the house? Because they inherited the property.
Yes, we've certainly worked with inherited or probate estate situations many times. And especially for if a person lives in another geographic part of the country, then the property is in, say the property is here in Kansas City, but the siblings or the person that inherited the property is in Florida. We've made arrangements so that the paperwork can all be sent to them. If they don't want to come back and do anything with the house, they just want to sell it and be done. Again, we can buy a house completely as is. We can have, with an authorization from the current owner, we can have a locksmith go in and change locks so that we can have access to the property. And we can have all the paperwork done virtually or remotely so that a person doesn't have to come back at all, doesn't have to travel at all. So again, we'll do whatever we can, whatever a seller wants us to make that happen for them.
And so what's the process if someone says, you know what, this is really, really piquing my interest and I want to reach out? So they give you a phone call or they might reach out through the website. What is the process to engage with Ben Souchek in Home Downsizing Solutions to get that ball rolling? And what does that look like?
Sure. Typically, as you mentioned, either a person will contact us and they can call us at our toll-free number, since there's might be people listening from outside the area.
Okay, and what is that?
It's 855-266-8255. 855-291-5005. And so either they can contact us that way or go through the website. We will take some information about the property over the phone or through the website. We'll do a little bit of our research that we can do online. And then we'd come out and actually look at the property. Again, if a person's here, that's great. We'd love to meet with them and talk to them about their property. If a person lives out of the area, we can make arrangements then to see the property. And before we arrive, we will do our best to do our research as far as property values in the area and everything that we can so that when we're at the property, after we inspect it, we can make one or more offers at that point or provide one or more solutions at that point. And as you mentioned, if selling a house directly to us is not the right solution for a person, if they don't put value into the benefits that we offer to them, then I'm happy to make an introduction to a traditional agent that might be a better fit to them. So my whole goal, I think the reason that we've been in business for 25 years is we don't push anybody in one direction. We talk to an individual and figure out what's important to them, and whether that is listing a house with a traditional agent or having us buy the house directly from them, whatever they feel is best for their specific situation is what we can provide.
So let me say how refreshing that is. I was just at a big thing over the weekend in Texas, and I just kind of ran into all kinds of people who it's sell anything and everything to anyone and everyone. And it's all about closing the deal and making the sale come hell or high water, and that's it. And it is so refreshing. Let me say, it's so refreshing to talk to you and know that you do not operate that way. And so we're a lot the same. If we can help you, we'll show you what we can do. We'll show you what that looks like, and then we're not going to push you and try to quote unquote close the deal or whatever. We're just going to say, here's how we can help you. Here's our offer. This is what it looks like, and then we leave it you leave it in their court.
Correct. Obviously, do everything that we can. What I have said in the past too is I like to educate a person as to what the benefits and downside are of each solution, whether it's listing a house or a direct cash home buyer like us, and so that they are at least more educated about the process and can choose the best thing for them.
All right. And then as we close out here, tell us a little bit about this book, Home Downsizing Secrets.
Home Downsizing Secrets is a book that I guess earlier this year that I put that out. It's kind of a refresh from a previous book.
Okay.
But if anybody'd like a book about home downsizing, what I would call the reality of selling a house and downsizing, just go to homedownsizing-secrets.com to get your free copy. Or again, you can call my office toll free 855-291-5005. And I'd be happy to help them any way that we can.
Okay, that's homedownsizing-secrets.com. And let's have that toll-free number one more time, Ben.
That's 855-291-5005, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Home Downsizing Show. For additional information and resources on home downsizing, just go to homedownsizing-blueprint.com. That's homedownsizing-blueprint.com. Or if you're ready to sell your house and downsize, just go to homedownsizing-solutions.com. That's homedownsizing-solutions.com. And if you have ideas to improve our show or topics that you'd like us to cover, or have any questions that we can answer, just call our office, toll free, 855-291-5005. That's 855-291-5005. Thank you.